Hello everybody and welcome back to Europa, where last episode we decided we don't care about the people who are angry out over here because they won't join a coalition against us. We'll see if that changes as we take more and more territory out over here, but if we can operate with impunity over this way, that would be phenomenal. We would be really happy about that. So, for now, we want to take Homs right over here. How close are we to being able to do that? Well, 28 reasons. 24 of those reasons are length of war, and we have ticking war score. So, for the time being, this seems fine. We can't get to Hamadan without negotiating passage through a bunch of nations, and I have no interest in that as of right now. So we're just going to chill, and we have Syrian uprisings brewing up right down over here. We're in position for this, and we expect this to be within the next 2 years. Unfortunately, we can't provoke the revolt while we're at war. Huh. France is at war with Fars. Why haven't they called us in on this? That's interesting. They called in Portugal. That's very interesting. I'm not going to offer to join the war. We'll join it if they ask. But as of right now, I'm not going to offer. So this is 1,200 ducats. That's a lot of ducats. Get out of here, rabbis. Homs really wants peace. I don't blame them. They have 24 reasons to not accept this right now. Okay, 21 of those are length of war. So we just have to wait this out at this point. These guys aren't willing to white peace, and I don't think they'll ever be willing to white peace. We just need Homs to give up and be like, you know what? It's over. And it is over. We just need them to realize that. Now, our corruption is currently growing, barely, but it is growing. I do want to be rooting out corruption at the value of our current overextension. So that is 0.15 at this moment. So that sounds good. We can invest in a new mill tech, but we are wildly ahead of time. The question is, do we have anything else to spend our mill tech on? We don't have an idea. We could get one in another technology, but as of right now, we don't. 1, land morale is huge. 2, combat width, new cavalry, and new infantry. So this is a very powerful military tech. I'm going to take it. And that's going to be very useful. So we're going to swap immediately to Greencoat infantry and to Lancers. But that also increased our combat width. So we should expand our armies, which also means we need to expand our transports. So 76 is our current size. It's going to be going up by 2 for the combat width, so we need to bring it up to 78. And this one's at 80. So we could just sail those 2 extras around, but I don't think they'd survive. So I'm going to build 2 here. And then in terms of our expansion, we know our cavalry to infantry ratio is 50%. So we need to bring our infantry up to 14 before we can expand our cavalry. So that's going to improve it by 1 per army. So that's going to be 2 combat width in total. But we're also going to need to expand our cannon in order to have a full backline of cannon. So this means that we need to take our cannon up to 20 as well. So we'll just go through all of these and make sure that we have the cannon going up to 20 and the infantry going up to 14. These recruitments will not take a very long time. We should be able to get that done fairly swiftly. So that looks good. And our troops are going to be substantially stronger now. So that's absolutely wonderful. And of course, we want to continue to build these counting houses. So we'll do that where possible. But for the time being, the expansions are what's important. So we'll get that finished up. Each of these is now going to be at a size of 40, and our combat width is 40, so that tells us that we have our math correct. Approximately correct, anyway. So that seems good. A peace offer from Holmes? No. We're going to decline it. We want this offer, and they won't accept this yet. So they have 17 reasons to not accept this. Length of war is enough. So ticking war score is proceeding as well, and that'll be fine. I don't suppose these guys want out yet. No, they probably never ever will. And that's okay. What's our current Crownland situation? We should definitely get out of this war, seize land, and then do a sale of titles and invest that money. That would be the best thing to do. So, what's this war that France has with the Holy Roman Emperor? It's a nationalist war that Navarra declared? It's just Catalonia. Okay. I don't care. Whatever. That's fine. They can do that. That's completely irrelevant then. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen these guys pop yet. I'd like to see it happen. I would definitely like to see that happen. But for now, it's absolutely A-okay. So, are we taking attrition? No. I just saw that we were reinforcing briefly there. But we're not taking attrition. So that seems good. We definitely need to get a couple of additional counting houses going, which we will happily do. Our merchants stay. Tunis is going to be sad, but that's okay. So at this point, what's Homs thinking? Nothing. Okay. That's not going to happen. So they have 8 reasons to not accept this now. Excellent. That's just going to continue to improve for us. Ticking war score would get us there. Length of war will get us there. Either is fine. Ooh, Syrian separatists, finally. They're walking straight into us. Perfect. So we'll get these guys back to drilling immediately, and we're going to mothball this fort. To be honest, if we have no way to get to Hamadan, then we don't need to have any of these forts active. Yeah, there's no way to get them. Okay, so that sounds good. In that case, we're just going to mothball all of our forts. Excellent. That'll save us a little bit of money. So that looks good. We're going to ignore this revolt. I'm sure it will not cause any problems whatsoever. So at this point, our armies are expanded, and we're currently ranked number 7 among the great powers. That's noted. How are we doing on our coring? Okay. So once this coring is finished, then... Ooh, a base tax. Or a base production. We're going to take the base production, thanks. Once this Aleppo core is finished, then we have no reason to delay this. So 13 March 1725. Are they going to be willing to by then? That's interesting. This is saying that, or it did say they had 1 reason, but now it's saying they have -2. Okay. That's fine. We'll just let this go. We should be good by then. Okay, so we have a new heir, 262, and 421 is our new consort. Okay. So that's absolutely fine. Any moment now, they'll allow us to end this war. There. Now we're good. Excellent. So that'll, of course, give us some aggressive expansion, and I want to seize land, although the nobility are currently sad. How long until we can set an agenda here? 3 years? We could give them nobility land rights, but that doesn't actually give us, like, any immediate loyalty. That changes their equilibrium. So it wouldn't be a bad thing, to be sure. But I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to do this. The nobility may rebel. And they did. Okay. That's fine. I just want to get that on cooldown. And where are they? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. All over here in Africa. Sounds perfect. So we stack wiped this, and we're just going to wander on down here. Get rid of them. The atmospheric engine. This was invented in Damascus. 2 base production there, too. Beautiful. So do we think we're going to get here in time? No, I don't think we're going to get here in time. I'm going to unmothball this fort. Yeah, they occupied it before we got there. So we're going to move these guys back up over here. And because of the fort here, they didn't get separatism over here. Or actually, it was noble rebels, so it would have been autonomy. So that's all fine. I do want to get this core going as soon as possible. There we go. And overextension is still 0.15. Particularists up in our vassal. We could go deal with that. Okay, I'll do it. We'll go deal with our vassals' rebels real quick, and then we'll just pop right on back. It's basically 0 investment for us, so that seems fine. And I want to move back up over this direction. There we go. These guys can get back to drilling. That looks perfect. And then these guys can get back to drilling as well. So at this point, the plan was to do a sale of titles. And yeah, I want to do this. So that brings the nobility back up in their opinion. That's good. And we could grab a diptech. Again, we're ahead of time. So we'd be better off to not do this yet. But where else are we going to put this power? Annexing these guys? I mean, that's going to be a little while. When can we even do that? Next year. Well, we could royal marry them. I'll do that. And then we can improve relations with them. We can definitely start working on that. But to be honest, I'm still probably going to grab this diptech. So what is this going to give us? Great frigates, East Indiamen? Sure. I don't really care all that much, but I want to get this. So that'll be fine for now. We'll celebrate a festival. That looks good. We're pretty ahead of time in those technologies. We're not so ahead of time in admin technologies. That's understood. We should probably be saving up for admin tech at this point. When are we going to get this? This is currently showing as 7 years. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty viable. So we definitely want to mothball forts because we've got this fort here. Ooh, 2 base production in Aleppo. So we'll recall this diplomat. That seems fine. And we want to build province improvements, specifically counting houses. We need to continue our way through this list. The end of the list is in sight at this point. But as you've noticed, or maybe you haven't noticed, but as you should have noticed, ooh, 2 base production in Yanbu now, too. But as I was saying, as you should have noticed, none of these guys are joining a coalition against us. That means that none of them think that together they are strong enough to beat us. That's a huge deal. So we need to decide where we want to expand next. Medina? Al Said? Those would both be good areas to expand. I'd like to move towards Fars eventually. Medina would take us that direction. So we could fight Medina, then Bahrain, then Basra, then Khuzestan, then Fars. Something like that. Basra is, I believe, a free city. Yeah, it's a free city in the Empire. So that would be something that we'd have to be a little cheeky about. But do we have a CB on Medina? We have imperialism. West Ajuran, Kufa, and Ayyubid Abyssinia. I don't really care about that. They'd have this area right here that they'd siege, and that's a level 6 fort. We could maybe upgrade that to a level 8 fort. That's probably not a bad idea. Let's do that. This is a level 6 fort here, and we could definitely go around and upgrade our level 6 forts in strategic locations to to level 8 forts. To be honest, I don't think that this is a strategic location. I'm going to destroy that. The other Italian forts, I think, are good. These forts are... I kind of don't want them. I'm going to destroy those. This fort, I think, is a very strategic fort. I like it. This fort's okay. It controls everything out over this way, and then this fort controls this approach. So I think these forts are fine. This is a great fort. I love this fort position. Of course, I wouldn't have built it if I didn't love that. And then we've got our fort that's right here, and that controls the approach to Africa. That's a level 8 fort, so that sounds good. Do we really feel like we need this many forts down here? If we take over Medina... Well, this fort in Tabuk is actually unnecessary. So we get rid of that. Medina controls this territory and this territory. Mecca controls all the way through here, so that's good. But once we have this under our control, the fort in Medina is likely unnecessary. But I'm going to start moving some forces down this way. So, if we're going to fight Medina, then we are going to be fighting Kufa as well. And Kufa, if I remember correctly, is like a tiny little one province somewhere. Oh, it's these guys right up here. It's these guys. We could maybe vassalize them. That might be something to do. And then there's West Ajuran. I don't care. And then there's Ayubid Abyssinia. I don't care. Both of those are going to be focused on this location, which we should probably wait to declare this war until after this fortress is built, this level 8 fort. And then they can try to come up this way. That'll be controlled by Mecca. They can try to come up this way and attack over here. That'll be blocked by Medina. So for the time being, that seems fine. But ultimately, as we push this direction, the real location we want to fort here is here. That's the actual location that we want to control this entranceway. That's going to be a very strong fort. Another good fort would be somewhere up over in here. But for now, that's a little bit beyond the scope of what we're looking at. So we're going to move down over here, and we are going to fight these guys. To that end, we may want to get forces preemptively moved in. So we can move these guys over. We don't yet have the 2 additional transports here, do we? Because this should be at 80, not at 78. We do have the 2 additional transports, but it should definitely be at 80. So we'll get that moved in, and we'll get those transports built. For the time being, I'm not terribly concerned about actually declaring this war. I'm just checking supply limits out over here. It's all pretty grim. We can sit right here, though. I'm not planning on declaring this instantly, so this looks fine. Okay, so we've got these troops regenerated in their morale, but we definitely want to wait on this fort to finish up. That's going to be done in about 2 years, so that's going to take a little bit. 50 admin power? I'm okay with that. Maybe I shouldn't be okay with it, but I am okay with it. So we have a free advisor slot. That's this guy. Inflation reduction, tax modifier. We go with the tax modifier guy. Is he promotable? He is. We could promote him up to level 3, and I'm very tempted to do that. Done. So there we go. That looks good, and we're definitely earning a lot of admin power at this point. So at this moment, this is saying 1731. That is 5 years away, and we're only 4 years ahead of time. So that's not really a huge concern, but it's a mild concern. I think we'll make it. I don't think we're gonna have any timing issues there. So we're waiting for this East Indiaman. That'll be done soon enough. And down over this way, we're going to have forces here, and they're going to strike out from here. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see what we get out of this. I'm really only expecting ducats and war reps out of these guys. We should peace out West Ajuran first, if we can. That would be the primary target down that way. So we can actually build a great synagogue. Coal? Hang on. We want to build a furnace in Cagliari? Yeah, Cagliari. That's definitely what we want to do. We need money for that, and this is high priority. This is very, very high priority. And we just got money. Okay, so we're building that furnace 1,000%. There's 2 manufactories that we can build as well, one in Tabuk and one in Corsica, and I think we should build both of those. So we'll get those going, and our counting houses are lower priority than all of that. That's a lot of ducats, but I also don't want to spend admin power. Okay, sure. So we can now get these guys moved in, and I want to do so. So we're going to get you guys attached to the boats. We're going to move you in. There we go. And attach them to the boats. And then we're going to move right on down over here. I'm going to unmothball this fort because we're going to need it relatively quickly in theory. But we will have this army here, and I'm not terribly concerned, but we are taking attrition. That's understood. We don't want to sit here for too long. And this fort is still a year away from finishing. So I'm actually going to park one of these guys up in Jeddah for right now, just to make it a little less attrition-y. So we'll wait for about a year, and then we'll declare this war. So that looks good for now, and I do want to queue up an additional counting house, but man, those 5 ducats from that furnace, and more importantly, that also means that we will be eligible for industrialization. Development will need to be at least 30 where this is. So this is in Cagliari right here. Development is currently 19. We should probably work on bringing this up. Actually, yeah, France, you can have 4,000 soldiers. That's fine. I don't mind that. So let's work on bringing this up a little bit. We need to bring this up significantly. So that's 5 and 6, 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 for now. So this is 26, and I want the other 4 to all go into diplomatic power. So we're going to work on that. Once this furnace is completed, that's going to be huge. So that looks great. We'll put diplomatic power into that, but this is more admin power reduction. No, get out of here. This fortress is going to be finished soon, and that's all we're waiting on at this point. We're otherwise ready to do this. We did just lose a military leader. It was this guy. I'm going to roll a new one, and that is fine. Perfect. France is now calling us into a war against Ancona, allied with Athens, Savoy, and Makva. Fars will protect them, because they're part of the empire. Well, it's fine. But it's a little awkward, isn't it? Let's leave everything where it's at right now. Let's not really participate too much other than right here, because I would like to come in and occupy a bunch of Anconan territory. So let's just hold off for now. This battle is going to happen on 27 June. That's unfortunate. We can force march out of there and delay it. Consider it done. Okay. So at this point, I want to move up over like this way. We just need a morale bump. Okay, so now that we got a morale bump, we can head in here without too much fear of being stack wiped. So I don't want to do this immediately. This is interesting here. When would this battle happen? 8 July? 3 days. Noted. Okay, so we won that battle. All is good. And at this point, we're just going to start taking over some of this territory. So we've started up the siege here. That looks good. And yeah, as I said, I'm not planning on doing too much. Okay, there's this here. That's noted. We'll see how much Fars actually does here. I'm going to pull these 2 units off of the Medina line here. And we'll just keep an eye on that. Okay, so we've occupied here. I want to occupy here next. And I also want to shift consolidate this and move a couple of troops out over here. This is a fully maintained fort. Okay. That's going to be interesting. So we're going to sit here with a few troops for now. I want to move over at least 1 value cannon. So we're going to move over this guy. And how many forces do we need to actually... Okay, that's a lot. 31 regiments in order to actually siege that. Well, France is going to be here pretty soon. And France is actually coming down here to fight these guys. So that seems fine. We could move these forces over, but I'm not going to. I think we'll just chill for right now. That seems fine. And as far as everything up over here goes, I'm not terribly concerned about what's going on here. This is a little bit more concerning. So to that end, we're going to move in over here. We're going to attach both of these to our transports, and we're just going to grab our transports and our combat fleet if we can. There we go. And I want to just sail right on over. Yeah, that's what I thought. Get out of here. So we stack wiped that force, and we're just going to sail right on back. Perfect. I'm not even interested that much in attacking Silesia, although we could. We could come up over here and siege, and we could come up over this way. It's fine. So we're at 14% on this siege, and it's over. Perfect. So now we're going to hop in over here. I'm hoping that we're still the siege leader here. Yes, we are. Excellent. What I want is France to give us this territory. We'll see if they do. It's a bit dicey, but it would be nice if they would. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to prosecute this War of France's, and then we're probably going to go after Medina, is the idea here. We were just waiting on this fort finishing, and it's still not technically quite done. So that's fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge, STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.